toy in from Eastwood, one of our favorite automotive restoration tool sources. Ladies and gentlemen, the smallest anvil ever created, I think. So this is an automotive trim anvil. We're going to try to use this to continue removing the dents from the trim on the side of our 300 SD. So in recent days, I've determined that the trim on the passenger side of the car is in fact the victim of repeated door closures. This car spent the last few years of its life before I got a hold of it in a carport or a garage. It's clear to me now that it was parked on the left-hand side, and the previous owners would pull up to the right and open their door, and over time they would bang it once in a while, and after a while they got to where they just didn't care anymore, and this piece of trim here was just completely eaten up with dents. In the last video we did a pretty good job of getting a lot of these out of here, but there's a few places that I'm really just not happy with. The metal on this end of the trim is well, it contains a lot of ripples, and there's a couple right there that you can see. We're going to try to clean that stuff up, and we're going to use the tiny anvil to do it. So let's get busy. All right, I thought I was going to get away with not breaking out the hardcore sandpaper, but I don't see a way around it really. I've straightened this piece of trim as best I can. The only way to get it really cleaned up, I believe, is to do a little bit of metal removal. So there are some scratches that are pretty deep in here. No, they were not made by me. They were made by repeatedly slamming doors into the side of our Mercedes here. I'm going to start off with a coarse grit paper and then work my way down to 1500 to 2000, and then I'll be back over to the polishing wheel. Let's see how well this works. I'm going to start right here where the scratches are pretty deep. Yeah, you can see the low spots right away after you use the sanding block on it, and my deep scratches are going away. That one there is really deep, but we got it. That could use some more work, pounding from that side. All right, so the coarse sanding makes the low places stand out, like that one and those two. There was a substantial low place right here, but I took the little anvil and I turned it up on end like that, placed the trim here, and tapped lightly to remove the dent and poke it back this way. And then I sanded it again to see where the low spots were, and it looks like I took them out. And then I put the wood back behind here and tapped here again to try to smooth it out further. So that looks like a pretty good process. I'm going to continue on in this fashion and see if I can address each one of these low spots. Okay, now you recall the three low places that I was telling you about. These three here, we haven't touched those, and the other one that was down here. Okay, I have been hammering and toiling away and resanding. All right, you need to get the dent to poke outward just a micrometer or some small distance. And then you take off the excess metal with sandpaper. So that's really what you have to do. You're not going to get it perfect by beating it into submission because the metal is now stretched if it's dented badly like this was. So I'm going to poke the dents out to where they're protruding this way in a minute amount, and then we'll lop off the tops with coarse sandpaper. So that's my process. I'm going to go on down the line, and I've got my job cut out for me. Everywhere you see a low spot, that's what we're going to do. All right, we're back at it the next day. So I've got my little cheap automotive body hammer here, and I put it on the bench grinder and I took some width out of it. And I got a file after it and I rounded it off so that we could be a little more gentle. So as it stands, that hammer was a bit too large for this job. Could have bought another one, but just modify the one I have. Places like this, we'll turn the trim upside down and we will place it on top of our tiny anvil. And we'll tap in there with the with our modified hammer. And if that doesn't quite get it, we can turn the anvil like that in our vise and be a little more aggressive with it. All right, so I've been working on these two areas right here on the back side and working to push them out a little bit. Now up next, I'm going to get on them with a rotary sander with a 220 grit, and we're going to see what the results are and see where we need to go next. All right, so that's what it looks like after a 220 grit sanding. It looks like the dents have been removed, although I'm sure there is still some ripple there that will become much more evident as we repolish this piece. So I'm going to continue on in this fashion, cleaning up these dents, and then after we're done with that, we're going to progressively sand. I have a whole stack of sandpaper I just got. 320, 400, 600, 800, 1,000, and 1,500, and we'll go up through each one of those steps one by one, and then we'll end up back at the polishing wheel. All right, so I think I'm done with the initial dent pulling and whatnot. I worked on this end down here, and I poked it out some, got the flat file after it. That flat file, man, that thing will knock high spots down in a hurry. I highly recommend it. A very light file. Don't get aggressive with it. And then I tapped it back in place and went down it one more time with the orbital sander. All right, next up, we're going to continue and do the 320, 400, 600, and so on and so forth with a block sanding, and then we'll end up back over at the polishing wheel. All right, that's after 320 and 400 dry paper sanding. Now you can, after you sand it down with some finer grit paper, clearly you can see the imperfections in the trim, and that won't ever go away. Don't ever fool yourself that you can take a piece of trim that's been mangled and mutilated and turn it into something brand new. I suppose if you're a professional metal worker and you put hours and days into a single piece, then you might be able to fool somebody, but I could be just too picky. I don't know. So for instance, this little place right here, you can see where the paper highlighted an imperfection, but I can't feel it. Same for this dent we removed. I can't feel that either. So we're going to continue on. The next step is 600, then 800, and so on. Okay, we finished up wet sanding with all the way up to 1,500, and it's not like I spent hours and hours doing that. So each time was probably 5 minutes doing each grit of paper. Now as we have gotten closer and closer to going over to the buffing wheel, we're starting to expose more and more of the wavy defects. But this piece of trim is much, much better than it was. And I think after we buff it back to a high sheen and put it back on the car, it's going to look really nice. So, all right, let's get off to the buffing wheel and see if we can't make it shine. All right, that's after the first pass. It'll take a little while to get it shined up. Right now we're got kind of a coarse grit on it. It's coming along. All right, to give you a little bit of perspective into what we were dealing with here today on this trim on the door, you'll see these dings here left behind by the previous owner. This is what we were dealing with on the door trim. Although these dings seem to stop about right here, and from there back, it's pretty good. As you can tell, let me turn the light out. Yeah, there you go. that's what the door trim looked like before we started. So, all right, I think that's about it for this little vlog. I'm gonna call this a vlog because we're still waiting on parts. So we didn't really fix anything. We just sort of continued on in our quest for perfection in our trim here. So I actually went back after I polished this on the polishing wheel over there on the drill press. I wasn't satisfied with it. I still had some swirl marks left behind from the 220 and the orbital sander, and I wasn't happy with that. So I went back and I sanded it by hand back and forth with the 220 to get out those swirl marks, and I was happy with the result. And I did the same thing. I went all the way up through, 220, 320, 400, 600, so on and so forth, and back over to the polishing wheel, and I did it all again. So after you polish the trim, it highlights the issues, right? So there's probably a high spot right in there, but for the life of me, I can't feel it. A little wavy, but then again, if you look at the way the trim was before we started, I think you'll agree that we did a pretty good job here, and I'm happy with the results. So right now, I'm just going to leave this as it is, and we're going to wait on the parts so we can put our door cladding back on the car. So, all right, that's enough for this vlog. Appreciate you guys stopping by my channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to be notified whenever I release a new video, don't forget to click that little bell down below. Man, that's a dirty finger. All right, you guys take it easy. Have a good one, and remember to enjoy driving your classic Mercedes.